Is cheap hosting worth it? This is a question that lots of people ask me, and honestly, I genuinely say no. But recently, AppSumo had a deal where I could get a year's worth of hosting for $3.60 from a UK based company called Host Maria. So I picked up that deal because it's less than what I pay for a coffee, and I'm gonna see if it's good today. And we will walk through the dashboard. We'll see how it works. And while I won't do any performance testing, I'll give my assessment on what I think the hosting would be good for, if anything. So stay tuned, and we'll answer this question. Is cheap hosting worth it? But before we get into that, I do want to ask you to subscribe to this channel. I put out a couple of videos a week. I do live streams on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to check those out, you can. Now, if you miss the live stream and you want to watch it later, that is something available exclusively to my members over at the Build Something Club. And you can sign up for buildsomething.club or over at buildsomething.club for just $5 a month or $50 a year. That'll give you access to the live stream archive. It'll also give you ad-free extended episodes of my podcast, How I Built It, access to automations and tutorials that only members get access to. So go ahead, subscribe to this channel. That one's free. And if you like what I'm doing, sign up and become a member over at buildsomething.club. Okay, let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, so I am logged in here on Host Maria. The dashboard looks pretty clear, easy to manage. I signed up with one of the many domains I own. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is point this domain to the hosting. So let's see if I can figure out how to do that. And I'll just point out here that the AppSumo deal is good for a year. It's $3.60 for the year, but it renews at under $25. So it's still very cheap hosting. Okay, so this is a little bit of a confusing interface here, I suppose. There's, we've got the breadcrumbs. I guess that's okay. And so I have this active service. So far, it's unclear. I guess I will log into Control Panel. So it does log me into something that looks like cPanel. And I do have a temporary address. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you could more easily see it. And I will copy the IP address. I'll go over to hover, and I will point this domain to the appropriate IP address. Set the TTL to 5 minutes. Don't know why that keeps happening, but it's frustrating me. And then we'll want to point to www there as well. Okay. So while we wait for that to happen, I do have a temporary address. When I visit that, we just get a temporary page. And I will keep checking to make sure. Oh, wow. That was very fast. So this domain is working now. Get rid of that client area. So I'm going to want to spin up an SSL certificate. First things first, security, SSL, TLS. Okay, and I guess we're not fully functional here. I suppose that makes sense. So we'll have to wait for that. And then I'll enable forced HTTPS. But again, this looks like a pretty standard cPanel. So let me see. I want to install WordPress. Is there an easy way to do that? WordPress, one-click installs. One thing I noticed that they say a lot here is they make it really clear that they only want to host like good guy websites. So I think that's a very interesting thing to point out. Tinyprojects.tech, install at the root. I am noticing that this is taking a little bit of time to load and do things. I don't expect things to be super fast on hosting. I just paid less than $4 for, but it's this is maybe one of the perils of cheap hosting. If you need to do things quickly and efficiently, you're probably going to want to get something a little more advanced. And especially, I'll just say here, they have billed themselves as self-managed hosting. So I'm going to be on the hook for doing everything. So all right, it looks like WordPress is installed. If I refresh, all right, so it doesn't do the full install. It adds, it looks like, the database and WordPress. And I'll just do this really quick. I'll show you my speed test, what I'm getting, so that you have a little bit of a litmus test for, if a website's taking a long time to load, is it my slow internet? It's not. So we will go through the WordPress install, tiny web projects, change that password later. All right, so this is interesting. I'm getting hit with, we want to make sure you're not a robot right off the bat. Log in. All right, so this is a pretty standard, fair WordPress website that we've got going on here. Stack cache, so it looks like it does include its own caching plugin where we can manage a few things here, but not bad. And it's not, it's not ridiculously slow either. I mean, I haven't done anything here, but let's go back. We'll check out cPanel again and see if there's any other interesting, it's got a website builder. Again, this is pretty standard cPanel. We'll see if the SSL certificates. I mean, this is cool. This is enabled, basically thanks to Let's Encrypt. Okay, so pretty standard fare here. I will look at, so bandwidth information, web space, bandwidth, unlimited everything, unlimited domains. It says Tiny Web Projects is currently not on their name servers, and I don't intend for it to be on the name servers. I intend on just pointing the IP address. So hopefully that's not an issue, because I want to manage all of my domains from Hover. So to access our servers, name servers can use the following data. So yeah, so this is fine. This shouldn't be an issue if the way I think about all websites is what I know about all servers and domains. That shouldn't be an issue. So I'll just click around here a little bit, switch the PHP version. Default is 7.0. It's currently on 7.4. It looks like I can upgrade to 8.0. That's pretty cool. That's not really something that a lot of hosts let you do. So that's pretty impressive. Do that with caution, of course. It's got email stuff, email migration. I generally don't recommend using anything besides like an actual emailer, like Gmail or Fastmail or ProtonMail. Maybe not. Maybe Fastmail is not one of them, but it's got lots of one-click installs. Again, this is likely a function of cPanel. So let me go back to Host Maria and see what's all included in my account area. Something I really don't like is they kind of make it hard to get to my account area, like my client area, which is over here. So I've got one service, no domains registered, no tickets, no invoices. I can support a ticket. I can submit a support ticket, register a new domain, and then manage just the hosting here. So again, this is a pretty standard cPanel account. cPanel hosting. So it was relatively easy to get set up. Who do I think this is good for? Um, obviously I haven't stress tested the website, but just kind of limitations on bandwidth, the idea that it's very likely shared hosting. Um, I would generally recommend if you have a very important website, like a membership site or a an e-commerce site or even a services website, your CV or a portfolio that you need to be online and you don't want to be at the mercy of someone else's website. I think you should find dedicated or managed hosting for that. So generally I'll recommend Nexus. I'll have links in the description for that. But all in all, if you're I think that this is probably really good for students. Or if you need, if you absolutely need to keep costs super low, maybe for a temporary project or something like that. But again, I don't usually recommend cheap hosting. This is fine. It's got cPanel. Obviously, this is the first time I'm signing up for it today, so I don't know if any issues will reveal themselves in the future, but installing WordPress was easy, and then I can go through and make the changes I want inside WordPress. But again, if you're doing a lot of database writing, a lot of queries, you're probably going to run into issues there. So again, this is uh, shared hosting, right? So it's got the SSL certificate and it comes with a free wildcard ticket. It looks like you don't have to jump through any hoops to do that. Once my DNS fully propagates, then I can force SSL. I can install my own SSL certificate, so that's cool. But again, it's got malware scanning, and you can add stuff on top of WordPress to make it probably easier for you to secure your site. So we scan your site every day. I guess they'll do that automatically. So on the surface, it looks like decent hosting, especially for the price. But it is, I keep saying it's shared hosting. I haven't confirmed that, but anything that's selling hosting for $1.99 or £1.99 a month is likely shared hosting. So I think that if you're looking for a testing ground to try new things, try your skills, for if you want to add student websites to it, right? Because you have an unlimited subdomain, so maybe you set up hosting for your class here, and then you can password protect everything. Install multi-site here. I think it's good for that. Or if you're running a training session and you want to give people practical experience with cPanel, this is probably really good for that. But I would use something like this strictly in a teaching or workshop environment and not necessarily anything like a production site, a membership site. So that's it. That's it for this video. If you have any questions about shared hosting or my recommended hosts, if you want to see something specific, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and if you really like what I'm doing, sign up for the Build Something Club over at buildsomething.club. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, get out there and build something.